In today's video, I'd like to explore the topic of the pursuit and the journey versus the actual goal. I'd like to explore what is more meaningful, what can create you more happiness and fulfillment. The goal and reaching goals and achieving goals, or the actual journey and the day-to-day process of getting to the goal, and how you can set better goals for yourself, how you can know that some goals might not even be actual goals that you should strive for, that you really should set for yourself. So, starting with the question, what is more important? The pursuit and the journey or the actual goal? What has a bigger impact on our lives? And that does depend on the goal overall. However, I would say, first of all, for many goals depends, especially bigger ones, it's not necessarily very certain that you're going to reach them at all. Then also, sometimes things change, life change, maybe your goal even changes. So it's not really certain that you achieve the goal at all, which also is not necessarily a bad thing. It can be a good thing. Maybe sometimes you just change your goal, which is also fine, Which means most of the time, whatever goal you try to achieve, you probably spend most of the time in the actual process of getting there, in the journey. Which makes sense to focus on that journey, because if you, let's say you set yourself a goal, and you grind and do the process and do the work and whatever it does, and you actually don't really enjoy it, it might not even be worth going for the goal, because that is what many people say. Then they achieve a goal and then they actually don't feel more happy. They might even feel empty. So, going back to the question, or let's say the learning. What I started doing myself, I learned from my experience, from many other people I talked to, from people I learned from, is whenever I set a new goal for myself, or whenever I have a new goal in mind, a new idea for a new goal, I ask myself a couple questions to determine if there's actually a really good goal for myself, a healthy goal, or if I maybe shouldn't even do it. To give you an example, let's say your goal is to run a marathon. The first question I ask myself, before I set any goal, is, okay, I have the goal in mind. What would it take me to achieve the goal? What would I need to do to achieve the goal? And the second question would be, do I love to do what I would have to do? Like whatever activities, actions it is that was the answer of the previous question. Do I love these things? Do I love to do it every day, every week, constantly until I achieve the goal? It's a super important question. So actually the journey already gets enjoyable. Example for this would be, let's say the goal is to run a marathon. Okay, your goal is, I want to run a marathon. So the question I ask myself is, okay, what do I have to do to run a marathon? I have to run. I have to run a lot. I have to run on a daily, on a weekly basis. I have to run a lot of kilometers. I have to possibly do other training, take care of my diet, and yeah, put a lot of thought into it. Make some plans, but most of all, I have to run a lot. Hours and hours and hours every week, every day. So, question would be, do I love to run? And that's a very simple way of seeing if your actual goals are really goals you should achieve and that might make you happy or not. So, in that case, if you don't like to run, what's the point of setting the goal of running a marathon? Yeah, some people, they do it because they want to prove themselves, prove some other people, enjoy a challenge, competition, whatever. But actually, probably, if you don't love to run, you're going to force yourself to do all the stuff and all the work all the time over a couple of months. And then you run the marathon, maybe you will even be successful. And I bet that it will probably not be so meaningful and fulfilling for you. And you might actually, once you're done, a couple of days later, you might actually even be in some sort of like a hole. So that's what I found really, really important to ask yourself. And only set goals if the action items you have to do to get there also is enjoyable for you. Another example would be for artists, any type of art. Let's say you do paintings, or you do music, songwriting, photography, anything you do, is a super good question is, if I do it for myself, is that already be enough? Let's say I paint this picture and it gives me so much joy and it's so relaxing to me, meditative, whatever it is, it brings me so much that that's already enough. I can put it in somewhere, put it in a box, don't show it to anyone. It's really amazing. I love the journey. It's beautiful for me. I can put it up my wall. I look at it. I'm happy every time. That's fine. You know, if I write a song, I do it maybe to process something, maybe just because it's fun. This is for me. It's meaningful for me, and I don't have to share with anyone. Is that enough for me already? These are really, really good signs for setting goals and doing things. And if you do it for yourself, and that's already enough, beautiful. But if you do it, and then it's important that it reaches millions of people. You want to sell the paintings, or you want to get famous with your songs. It might be a tricky goal if that's the only or the most important thing, because that might not happen. And then similar with the running, to go back to the marathon example, let's say you love running. So awesome. Use the marathon as an extra motivation to probably just do more running, you know, and have a goal, have something to look forward to, exciting event. And at the end, it doesn't really matter if you actually run the marathon, if you actually sign up, if you actually do it, if you complete it, whatever. It doesn't really matter because you love running and this led you to run more. Same with the art, with the paintings. You love painting, you just paint more. Okay, cool. It doesn't really matter if you get your pictures in a gallery, or if you have an exhibition somewhere, or if your songs reach thousands of people, because you just love to do it. So it's a good mix of, yes, set goals, and it's amazing if you actually end up having your artwork in a gallery, or if you end up completing the marathon. And at the same time, if you don't, it's fine too. Or if you change your mind and maybe you want to do a half marathon, or you want to do a triathlon, or whatever it is, you know, you can change your goals. So it's becoming less attached to the goals and more involved in the journey, conscious about the journey, what it actually takes you to reach any goal. And this can also be starting your own business, building your own company, develop your own product. It's always a great question to ask, what do I have to do to reach my goal? And do I actually enjoy it? And I find that a really good guideline to set goals for myself and embark on new projects. I hope this video resonated with you and you could gain something from it, some inspiration, some thoughts, and whatever you think, I would love to hear about it. Feel free to share it, write in the comments, and we can have another exchange about your thoughts and your experiences too. Thank you, and see you next time.